Hello, I'm BX Toycat and welcome back to another video. Today's video will come in pretty useful for anyone who has a survival/creative hybrid world, where you switch between the two game modes pretty often, like in the video world I use for pretty much all of my videos. The reason this is the case is because when you go into creative, you might figure you have access to every single block and item in the game, right? That's kind of the idea behind the creative menu, but it's not actually entirely true. There's quite a few blocks and items which are missing from the creative menu, and I figured I'd run through all of these in a video just in case you want to have a world where every single item is available to you at all times. Some of these blocks need to be accessed with survival first, so it's worth going around and collecting them when you first start the world, so you can have access to any block whenever you want it. So please do like the video if you do like it. It helps out the channel a lot, and let me know you do like it. And let's get straight into the video then, shall we? So let's start with the first and perhaps most annoying one for a lot of cases when you're switching between the two, and that has to be the enchantments. So if you're wondering what I mean here, when you go to the enchantments menu, you have access to every single enchantment at least once, right? But, as I mentioned in my duplicate enchantments video, you don't have access to different levels of the enchantments. So if you have Fire Protection 4 here, if you want to have Fire Protection 3, I know this is a weird case, then that's kind of a problem. If you want to have, Fire Aspect 1, you can't have access to it directly like this. You have to go out and make it yourself. So Efficiency 4, Sharpness 4, and this is a problem because although a lot of the time you do just want to have the max level, because Protection 4 is the best and like Smite 5 is the best, Sharpness 4 is actually a lot more common than Sharpness 5, so if you want to do real world testing, you can't do that without enchanting your own thing. If you want to do any of these things, you have to make your own stuff up, which is kind of a shame. So if you want to do that, get yourself an enchantment table and just spam all the enchantments to have at least one of each of them, then use my duplicate enchantment strategy to have at least one or more copies of them. So whenever you need any specific enchantment in your world, you can do that by doing that. So very useful little tip. I don't know why we don't have access to all the enchantments, because we have access to every single potion, the different potion levels, the different potion lengths, but we just don't have that for the enchantments, which is kind of a shame if you ask me. Along the same lines of, things with a lot of customization, has to be the fireworks, because fireworks, although they're not in the creative inventory at all on the PC, we do have 5 of these on the console, but just 5. There is, I don't know how many infinite number of, possibilities there are, but there's literally, billions of combinations, but on the console, menu, we have just 5 of these, which I understand why there's a limit, but 5 seems like way too low, because it's not even enough to be like, okay, so let's have it constantly turning on and off dispenser, and let's just fill it with fireworks, because then you gotta have at least, duplicating fireworks. You can't have 9 different types and make a fireworks show, and I think 9 should be the bare minimum you have in the creative menu. And if you want to make the rest of these, you do have to craft your own fireworks. There's a lot of cool ones you can craft, and although I do like quite a lot of these, there's still a lot of potential to make some more. So if you want to have a fireworks show just like this one, you're going to have to craft your own fireworks, and you have to craft a lot of them. So, with that said, let's move on from there onto the next one, which is going to have to be the damaged anvils. So, basically on the PC, there is anvil, and then there's the 2 damaged anvils, but on the console, for simplification purposes, I guess, we only have the 1 anvil. So, if you're wondering what makes a damaged anvil, or even what it looks like, I guess I'll fly over there now. Basically, when you use an anvil too much, you'll eventually damage it, and you'll get an anvil which looks, I don't know why these have blue carpet on them, you'll get an anvil which looks something like one of these. This is the very damaged anvil. In between, you get one that has some slight cracks in it, and basically, this is a cool way to, if you're making an adventure map or something, to limit the number of uses they can use in the anvil, because this very damaged one could break at any time. This could break the first thing I put in there, it could break the 4th thing, but it's going to break very soon, whereas this is going to last at least 3 to 30 items, which means, in reality, you want to be using, these anvils for an adventure map where you want to limit their, their crafts and stuff. So if you want to have one of these, how do you get these? Basically, you need to just damage an anvil. You can do this in creative, as you can see. You just put a pressure plate below it, and then you're like, okay, I'll grab my anvil, let's drop it, and when it falls onto the pressure plate, it will turn into a damaged block. So let me just show you how that works. Now we've got not only the regular anvil, but we've got the slightly damaged anvil just over here, which has a small crack on it. If we do the same thing again with the slightly damaged anvil, we'll end up with a very damaged anvil, or I forget what the exact time is. I think it's very damaged. Is it very damaged? It is very damaged anvil. So yeah, now we've got 3 different types of anvil, and we only have access to 1 through the creative menu. So now we have the 3. Put 1 of these in an item frame or a chest or something. Let's just put these in there right now. There we go. Now we've got those stored forever, because with creative, you can take infinite copies of both those things, and that's very handy. So with that said, let's move on to the next blocks, which has to be damaged tools. So this is one that's mostly for my purposes, but if you want to give people damaged armor so it doesn't last as long, but you want to have the protection of something like diamond, then you're going to have to damage the armor yourself, and given that diamond tools last for 1,600 uses, if you want to have a diamond sword with 10 uses left, you're going to have to use it for 1,590 times, and that is really, really tedious and kind of a shame, but there's no real other way to do that. You can't really damage tools in creative, meaning if you want to damage these tools, you have to switch to survival and just use them a lot and then give them to people. So yeah, I think damaged items to wherever you want to set the standard is something you should definitely set up, just in case you ever do need to do that. It's something I find damaged armor being something I want to use a lot in this world, and it's just something very handy worth pointing out. So damaged armor as well as the damaged anvil are also things you want. I know you can argue they're damaged and that's not something everyone wants all the time, but if there's a case where you do want it, I think it probably should be in the creative inventory, at least as an option or something like that, but it's not, and that's kind of that. So moving on from that, we have another one which definitely needs survival, because you can make cool things such as the cake ladder with it, and that involves the cake. So the cake as a block is of course available through creative. Let me just quickly show you that in case you're curious, and you can stack these and you do all these cool things, but you cannot eat these cakes in creative. Let me just show you that. I'm trying as hard as I can to eat it, but I just have full hunger. So what you have to do is you have to switch yourself into survival like so, and then you have to eat the cake if you want to make a smaller cake. And the reason you'll need to do this is if you want to make something like cake stairs, for instance, like this one. Cake stairs are totally going to be a thing. I'm going to keep saying it is until it becomes one. And also, it's just a really cool thing in general if you want to just go ahead and have, slightly eaten cakes on the worktop to give them only 2 food, or something like that. It's kind of the same line as the damaged tools, except it can also be used for cake stairs. So yeah, half-eaten cakes only possible in survival, which is a shame, but that's just kind of a thing that's that. And let's eat another bit of cake and move back to creative, so I can show you some other blocks which aren't available in creative, because these are some Silk Touch exclusives. So I've shown these off in about a couple of videos now, but it's been a very long time. So if those of you who don't know, there are some blocks which are exclusive to Silk Touch, which probably shouldn't be in a almost glitches, and I think almost definitely glitches, one of which has been in the game for so long it definitely can't be a glitch, and that is the mushroom block. So this is a glitch I actually discovered myself, way back when Silk Touch first came out. I was just playing around with some blocks, and I accidentally found the Silk Touch block, found the mushroom block by doing this. So when you break down a grey mushroom, you get the mushroom block. When you break down a red mushroom, you get the mushroom block. But even though they're the same, and if I place them down, you'll see they are identical in every single way. Try and find a difference in a second. You'll see they do not stack together. They are distinct blocks for some reason. Like you can see, I'm pressing A, but they don't combine. They're both called the mushroom. They both look the same. They both have the same attributes in every single way, but they are both technically different blocks. I don't know what the reasoning behind that is, but that's that. Also, even though they look the same, neither of them look like the full texture of any of these blocks. So yeah, very weird block, but it's not properly a glitch, and it is kind of cool. So if you want to have mushroom blocks, that's a thing you can totally do. And also along the same lines, there is the redstone lamp. So redstone lamps can be found in creative on the off format, but if you use Silk Touch on a redstone lamp which is turned on, you can actually get the turned on redstone lamp. And you might think, oh no, Toycat, this is different to the other thing. If we go back into creative for a second, so go over to the redstone lamp, you'll see these are distinctly separate blocks. So look on the left there, look on the right, you can see one of these is turned on. Even though they say they're the same, they do not combine. They're separate blocks. And the cool thing about the on redstone lamp is, although it doesn't stay on when you turn it on, it is like a source of light. So again, for an adventure map, let's go somewhere where it's dark, I guess. For an adventure map, you can see this being useful to get like a flash of light and control people like that. And if you only have a certain number of these, you can give people a certain number of like flashes of light, and that's kind of a way of like limiting someone's power. So if you'll make like a, I don't know, Five Nights at Freddy's map or something like that, using the on redstone lamp is a cool way to do that. So yeah, let me just show you a full stack like this. It's really cool when you do stuff like this, but that is one of the possibilities. So yeah, on redstone lamps, only available for a second, but still pretty cool. And the mushroom block are both only available by going to survival and using the Silk Touch enchantment, because if you try and do it in creative, this is what happens, and it's not too useful, to be honest. So yeah, with that said, let's move on to the last ones here. You might be thinking, whoa, this is a big old list to have for creative only blocks, creative missing blocks, but we're on the last few now, and these are mostly ones which I don't see you needing too often, but just in case you do need them. One of these is available in creative, the other two just aren't available at all through creative, because there is the egg, well, the dragon egg I should say, which obviously you have to kill the end dragon. I'd love to go to the end and show you, but my end on this world is glitched and has 100 dragons, and it crashes the world forever when I go there, so I don't think we can do that just now. And if, that's what caused the Rip Toycats build sign to happen. But yeah, basically, in the end, if you kill the ender dragon, you get the ender dragon egg. You might not have spotted this, but it's one of the cooler blocks in the game. You only get it once in survival. Take it into creative though, and you can have an infinite number of copies. There's also the end beacons, which are accessible again in the end. If you use a piston, you can actually knock those over, and you can take them where you want inside the end, which is pretty cool. And there's also the mob spawner, which, kind of the same thing. You can't ever get it in, unfortunately, you can't ever get it in creative. You have to use mods if you want to get it. But if you want to, like, set one up somewhere or, like, move it on stuff, you can do that through survival. So yeah, those blocks aren't available creative. I think they probably should be, because mob spawners are cool, and beacons could be used for some cool explosions. Besides that, yeah, that's every single block that can be gone through survival to help you out in creative, or gone in creative in some way. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. If you did like it, please do like it and let me know. Hopefully this helps you out if you have your hybrid survival creative world. Hopefully you learned something even if you don't have one of those worlds, like, oh, Toy Cat, apparently you can make silk touch, always on redstone lamps, or like temporarily on redstone lamps. Hopefully something taught you something in this video. If it did, please do like it and let me know. Share it if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this every single day on my channel, and if subscribed, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.